Officers, what's the funniest way you called 911 on yourself? Brennan had been sleep-deprived for 3 weeks straight, and honestly, so had I. Our neighbor Damon had been blasting music at 2 a.m. like he was running a club out of his apartment, and every single noise complaint went nowhere, so we did what any two reasonable, sleep-deprived adults would do. We came up with the worst plan imaginable. The idea was simple. Dress in all black, knock on his door, and just stare at him. No word. No threats. Just two men standing in the dark, staring into his soul until he reconsidered his life choices. Brennan called it psychological warfare. I called it genius. We should have called it a felony waiting to happen. We geared up like we were infiltrating a government facility. Black hoodies, black sweatpants, and I grabbed a ski mask from the back of my closet that I'd bought for a snowboarding trip I never actually went on. Brennan put on a beanie pulled down to his eyebrows and looked like he was about to rob a convenience store. We were so proud of ourselves. We crept down the hallway like we were defusing a bomb, and Brennan knocked on Damon's door 3 times, slow and deliberate. We heard footsteps. The door swung open, and Damon screamed, not a startled yelp, not a confused grunt. A full, blood-curdling, top-of-his-lungs scream that probably woke up every tenant on the floor. He slammed the door so hard the walls shook, and we heard him crash into something on the other side. A thud, then scrambling, then complete silence. Brennan and I looked at each other. Then we completely lost it. We sprinted back to our apartment, laughing so hard we could barely breathe, replaying the look on his face like it was the greatest thing either of us had ever witnessed. We changed out of our outfits. I threw the ski mask on the counter, and we sat down on the couch feeling like absolute legend. 30 minutes later, red and blue lights started flooding through our window. I remember thinking someone else in the building must have called about a noise complaint. Then the knock came, on our door. The officer on the other side had the kind of face that had seen too much, and was somehow still being tested. He looked at me. He looked at Brennan. He looked back at his notepad. Then he looked at the ski mask sitting on the counter directly behind us in plain view. His expression didn't change, but something behind his eyes just completely gave up. We received a call about 2 suspicious figures in all black casing the building, he said slowly. I opened my mouth, closed it, opened it again. That was us, Brennan said. What followed was the most humiliating 10 minutes of my adult life. We stood in that doorway in our matching black outfits and explained, in full detail, the prank, the sleep deprivation, the 3 weeks of 2 a.m. club music, the decision to dress like cat burglars and stare at a man until he had a breakdown. The officer was quiet for a long time after we finished.